our view has been that the biosphere is stable. It's infinitely resilient. We can do basically anything we want, and it just repairs itself all the time. We've just been living with that, and we're taking it for granted. But this era is over. This sort of luxury phase for humanity is now over.
Well, on the one hand, if we continue on our present course, I'd say the outlook is really bleak, both for humanity and for the natural environment. On the other hand, we have a huge window of opportunity now to apply much more understanding that we didn't dream of having just a few decades ago, of how fragile the Earth system is, of how human impacts affect it, and of how we can improve our practices, the way we interact with the natural world to sustain and fulfill our lives.
What people like to say is probably our children's problem. But it's a bad message to convey that it's too late, because what you do now happens in 50 years' time, roughly, with the climate. So it's not too late to do something. It's late in the short term. We are seeing changes, and we will see lots of changes over the next decade. But now is the time to act, I think, is what the models are showing us very clearly.
The cost of doing something significant is far higher for any one politician than the cost of not doing anything about it. Because by the time he's out of office, he doesn't care. He's writing his memoirs. It doesn't matter anymore. But when he's in office and he says, you can't drive your cars so much, you can't fly your aeroplanes so much, well, he will cause major political problems for himself. And so there's never an interest, there's never an incentive on the part of politicians to do anything about it. And the only possible incentive is if the population starts to get really angry, starts to put enormous pressure on, and starts to make it the #1 political issue in that particular country.
I believe we have a window of about 50 years, and there's some good reasons for saying that. One is projections of environmental change into the future, again, show some sort of break point roughly around 2050. If we don't start changing the way we organize ourselves, our human activities, we could see far more serious changes the second half of the century. So this means, in my view, that we have from now until about the middle of the century to think very carefully and to actually start doing something about changing energy systems, changing land use systems, changing the way we live. I think if we don't do it before the middle of the century, we're facing much higher risks of significant and potentially very damaging changes.